And here we are, Real Rocky Podcast. Today is the 10th episode of the Real Rocky Podcast. Today is the 21st of May, 2026, in studio, in the Comcast studio in Norwich. We have a guest, a friend, a good guy, Mark Adams. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
And Mark Adams is a friend. We met in 2022 when I ran for state senate. He ran for state rep, and then we stayed friends, and we chit-chat from time to time. We're not buddies, but we're respectful and kind. And Mark is here because, once again, he wants to run for the 139th, which has been in his heart, this area. That's where you grew up?
I grew up here. My whole life has been in New London County.
Tell us a little bit about you.
So my whole life has been in New London County, southeastern Connecticut here. And what I've been trying to do is make our lives better here. Growing up here and just seeing that the lack of development is frustrating. Trying to raise a family here is frustrating. And I just want better for our community. So this will be another go-around for me. And I just feel really positive about this time around. I believe I have a lot of traction, been close the last couple times, and I think we can just get over this little hump here this time and bring it home and make Connecticut and southeastern Connecticut specifically better for all of us.
All right, Mark, you know that I've been involved since 2022. Which before then I was never involved, but lately I've been attending all the city council meetings, the RTC meetings. This area is in dire strait. We're not happy. The citizens are, with the Yantic, the fire debacle, the taxes. Now we just learned the MPU is going to increase our rates. It's urgent. We need to replenish the elected officials because for some reason, and we know why, they're not listening. They're not paying attention.
Yeah, they don't care. They got their supermajority, and now they're the group that was out there saying we don't want any kings, no king rules, this and that. But now they're doing it, right? It's one party, one rule. It's essentially a king, right? So that's what they're doing. They don't care about what anybody else thinks, what the citizens think, what our taxpayer dollars are going to. They're in it for themselves. They got the position they want, they got the leverage they want, and they're just running, kind of roughshod through the towns. It's hard to. It's going to be very hard to wrestle that back, but we have to start with one seat at a time, and just hope that we can do it through that, and just having the citizens and people come out and make sure they're paying attention to who they're voting for and why.
I feel all the communities surrounding us, Ledyard, Monmouth, they're in the same boat. Higher taxes, wasteful spending.
Right, wasteful spending, and you're not getting anything back from it. It's just, where's it going? That's the question, right? You say follow the money, and it just leads all over the place.
We need that kid there, Nick Shirley. We need him in Norwich, Connecticut. He probably would find a couple $1 million here, a couple $1 million there. But how difficult has been, or how you feel about going knock on doors again and putting out your name out there, because it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hot summer days, going through neighborhoods, having conversations with people that sometimes are uncomfortable, both for the candidate and the person at the door. You don't know who you're greeting, or
right.
What reception you're going to get, because I remember we were out once and we had a kind of a somebody who wasn't really happy. So that was that. And you keep it moving. That's part of the game, right?
I remember, as a matter of fact, you wouldn't know this, but 2022, so it's been 4 years. Yeah. Skylar, the baby, was in a stroller. And now she's cute little princess.
Yeah. She's in pre-kindergarten now, so she's got probably more political experience than most of the elected officials in all of these towns.
In office, yeah. Maybe a couple more years, maybe she'll run.
Hey, listen, she's sharp. She's beautiful. So, thank you. Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about your core belief as far as what you're projecting, what you're proposing.
Well, I've said this since
family.
yeah, I said this since I started running, and the reason I've got involved in this game, because that's what it almost is, right? So I got involved because I have two older children, 25-year-old son, a 21-year-old daughter, and I feel like growing up when I was younger, I was really focused on that, and I just missed out on a lot of opportunities on how to better their lives and their futures going forward. With the rising costs and unaffordable conditions, it's tough for my son, who just graduated college, to get out to find the job and he wants it, to have an apartment, and my daughter, who's about to graduate college, and where is she going to be? She doesn't know if she necessarily wants to stay in state, because it's limited opportunity. So with that happening, and then now I have a 4-year-old, so now I have to do something, because I don't like what's happening in the schools right now. My daughter goes to a private parochial school in town.
Because this public school has too many mandates, vaccination. It's like the parents don't.
They don't. It's the state's overstepping and overgoverning what happens to our families. Right? They're saying that they know what's better for our children and our families than we do. One of the things is, I don't have to look outside the walls of my house to know what issues are affecting this area and the state. I said when I get elected, I would never go to Hartford. I would never leave my house to go to Hartford to not be reminded why I'm going there,
right, and
what I'm working for and who I'm working for. So that's my stance, and that's why I'm involved.
More and more evidence of the fact that we are not well represented is the fact not only residents, taxpayers are leaving Norwich, but a lot of we the people are leaving the state. And I said it before, I don't know if I said it on the podcast or on the radio show. When I first came to the United States 40 years plus, Connecticut was one of the best states. People that I knew from either, you're going to Connecticut?
Yeah.
Because all the actors, the big names from New York, they would work in New York City and live in Connecticut. No income tax. I mean, it was within a few decades, we became worse than California.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to compete with California, right? Whatever California is number one at, we're number two at. So, and it's like the current governor is trying to compete and wants to be California, which is why we need a change at the top. So I think the person we have at the top of the ticket right now, and Ryan Fazio, I think he's going to do tremendous things with his experience and his ability to be reasonable and use common sense when presenting bills. And
my contention when I go and speak at the public meetings in Norwich, cut the waste. If they just did that, they don't even consider it. In other words, the budget comes up, it's an increase because we need this, we need that. What about the waste? You mean to tell me in any department there's no waste? You can't make an adjustment? Mark, you and I, head of a family, we don't cut our waste? Of course we do. We learn, hey, I'm going to pay attention, so next, we'll all be careful to adjust what we can. They don't even try.
No,
the state of Connecticut doesn't even try. You remember, and I said it many times, the first casino came around, what are we going to get? Second casino, Keno, Lotto, gambling, all this revenue. Where's it going?
Yeah, I mean, that's the question everyone asks, right? It was supposed to go to improving roads. Have you driven down these roads? By
the way, you're in the business of 3% hotel tax, and then 1% restaurant tax.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be used for promoting the state of Connecticut. Well, they diverted because they need money. So they went on general funds. How is that even legal?
I mean, it's the people can make it legal, right? They change our constitutional rights all the time, right? To fit whatever they want.
In other words, we're going to tax you 3%, but that's going to go for this purpose. All of a sudden, when they accrue $500 million, we need it for something else.
Right. Yeah.
Which means the promotion of the state and everything else is not well implemented because they don't have the funds to promote it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a shame because we do have some great areas, you know,
Like I
to
said,
promote about the state. I mean, you know, at Connecticut, you're literally an hour and a half between New York City and Boston. You know, if you want to go to the mountains, you know, it's a couple of hour ride. You want to go to the shore, it's right there. I mean, ideally,
really-
right, Connecticut is the ideal spot
Yeah.
to be. If it was just more affordable to live here, you know, we'd be great.
I'm sure you would agree, I am not happy with the fact that the elected officials don't care. They say it publicly, many of them. If you don't like it, move. Whether it be Norwich or the state of Connecticut. If I was an elected official, I'd be ashamed to say a thing like that. In other words, it means your kids don't have a real future here because the politicians have not done a good job preserving. That's why we're conservative, right?
Right.
Why do they have to go elsewhere? Why should this be the place to come instead of to leave?
Yeah, we should have more opportunities here, and you know, we've seen it over the last probably 10 years where we've seen all our big corporations and companies, you know, leave. And Hartford used to be the insurance capital of the world. Now what are we? You know, we used to be the submarine capital of the world. Now we're trying to get that back. You know, what is going on here? And you know, a good thing we're still the basketball capital, the college basketball capital.
Thank
you
God
know,
for UConn,
UConn and
yes,
those girls. Yeah, I mean, let's look at that. You know, that's the one thing we have positive going on in the state of Connecticut. So.
By the way, do you play basketball? No?
Not anymore. I ruptured my Achilles now. that's a young man's sport now.
I came from Italy, so my sports of choice or that I played is soccer, football in Europe. But basketball, by coincidence, is the second most popular sport in Italy. They're pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, they are pretty good.
And just a few months ago, I couldn't believe it. Baseball, the Italian team beat
the USA. I know.
I thought it was a joke. I had to ask, and I said, no, they really did. I said, is it possible?
Well, if you look at the roster, there weren't very many Italian names on
there. There were maybe.
So no, it was good. Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's good for everybody. You know, I have Italian heritage, so it's always fun. You know, we're trying to plan a trip out there, but I mean, I'll probably be 80 by the time we get there with these prices, trying to save away. So I can't even say pennies anymore because they're taking them out of rotation, right?
Give our audience a little bit of your website, or you need some signatures, yes?
Yeah, so part of this thing is just getting 150 signatures in district. So anybody from the towns of Ledyard, Montville, or Norwich can go to my website and sign.
Pull up the form.
Pull up the form. And just kind of, you know, endorse me to be in their state rep, and you know, it'd be most appreciated. I really would love that because I plan on representing everybody. I don't have any kind of specialty interests. I don't have businesses other than, you know, my home. I don't own any other properties. You know, I'm not in this for selfish reasons because you're not going to get rich out of this. You know, and it's time away from the family. And like I said, I have a young daughter, so you know, these are some of the things that you sacrifice for a little bit of time for the betterment. You know,
I remember in 2022, first time ever in politics, I attended every parade, Memorial Day, Montville, Norwich, Sprague, Ledyard, and I realized the professional politicians, they show up before the parade starts, they make a little speeches.
Take a picture.
Take a picture.
I was there.
And then they disappear. And because I'm naive and new, I attended every parade, the whole parade.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of, you know, Montville, it was a long walk. Yeah. I mean, I said, I realize how they do it. They make sure they got a couple pictures. Yeah. And then they disappear. They don't march the whole thing.
No, it's funny how that works. And I was, you know, just as green as you were when we started, and I thought, I got to be here, I got to be there, I got to go this. You know, what I realized is that I'm running around to these same events, seeing the same people, giving the same speech. So it was kind of like, why am I doing this? Like, we have to grow, which is, you know, I don't have many issues, but I just feel the party itself should be, you know, a little bit more diverse, should have some growth.
Young, youth?
Yeah, youth.
I mean, you're young.
Yeah, I mean, you know, 50 plus, so.
Yeah, but it's,
you know.
Yeah, we would need, you know, that's why I was heartbroken when Charlie Kirk got assassinated, because he was able to mobilize the youth.
Yeah.
He wasn't selling necessarily. He was truthful. He was selling a message,
Yeah.
not necessarily hats or T-shirts.
No, but he was giving them a platform to voice themselves.
So why can't we do it? Why isn't?
I'll say this: that we do have a amazing group of young individuals called the Young Republicans committees, and I've talked to several of these individuals, and they're in their early 20s.
That's what we
very
need.
bright,
That's what
very driven. You know, a lot of new ideas. Because I mean, listen, you and I are getting older, right?
Yeah,
Things that
pretty
work
soon
for us,
they'll-
I mean, we got to
they're
leave it to
next.
them, right? They know. Well, I mean, when you have kids, right, they know everything anyways. But you know, these young ones, they have, you know, newer ideas, things that they see and that are in their life that we're not seeing.
But not only that, they should feel an environment where they're desired.
Yeah, they're welcomed, yeah.
They're encouraged.
Absolutely.
Not like everybody sits back. I mean, let's face it. Majority of us, not you, but we have all gray hair at the RTC.
That's why I shave it. I shave because otherwise, you and I, yeah, it'd be too much white hair on here if I had a beard right now. So,
well, youth, families, economic development, they talk about it, it never happens.
No, I mean, they talk about it, right? They come around when they want your vote, you know, and I feel bad because sometimes I'm like, oh, I haven't reached out to this person since I asked them, you know, hey, can you sign this for my campaign? Can you do this for me? You know, and I feel bad because I feel that's what, you know, just the other, you know, that a lot of people do is they just reach out to you when they want
need something.
Yeah, right. They don't listen to you. They don't listen to our voices, right? Until they're like, hey, what's important to you? I'm going to do that. Just vote for me and I'll get in. You know, I mean, I told you this 2 years ago when I met you, you know, and I tell everybody, like, I remember so many conversations I've had with people at their doors, and it stays with me. And I'm like, when I get in, this is an area of focus. This isn't just this one individual, but I had the same conversation with different individuals in different towns, and it's the same issue, and they're not being listened to, and it's not being addressed. Why? You know, and I take those things personal. You
because
know,
the leadership remains the same. They do what they want. They're, like you said, supermajority. They really don't think they have to listen to the will of the people. They don't think because they're going to do whatever they want.
No, they don't. We had that Wild Wednesday a couple weeks ago back up at the Capitol with all these bills. They were trying to pass all these bills, and you know, thousands of people showed up to testify and to give.
You would think that they would take heed of what
right.
the feel of the people.
Nope, they just dismissed them. You know, they looked at their watches. They were like, "We've been here too long."
Or even the controversy on mandates on children in school. The parents are up in arms about it.
Right.
They don't care.
Nope, it doesn't. You know,
So we definitely it is almost it's necessary to change the balance of power in Hartford.
Absolutely.
Even more so than Washington D.C. Because Hartford. Do you realize there is not one elected congressman or senator in all the New England states? Not one.
Well, I only knew that because you told me the other day. That's
no
the only reason I know that.
No senator. I mean, what is this? This is the region of the country where they rebelled against a king.
Yeah.
It's sort of like it seems to me like the spirit of the Patriots went to sleep. It dozed off.
Yeah, I think they lulled us to sleep. You know, they give us a false sense of security. You know that we're doing everything we can. You know, and when we open our eyes, we're like, this is nothing that we want. This is nothing like you said it was going to be. You know, and I think that's where you get a lot of the people's temperature, blood boiling, is because it's, you keep asking, and you want to know. This is what we're telling you. You know, you look at here in Norwich. You look at what's going on with the fire departments.
I was going to say we don't want to get into the nitty gritty, but
yeah,
the elected official know that the majority, it's not like
it's not even close.
No, the majority are not happy with what they're doing.
Right, and it's not just one party, it's everybody. It's everybody.
On both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, both sides of the aisle, all the residents,
They're not happy with their decision, they don't care.
No, they don't care. They're like, well, we're here for a couple more, another year, so we're going to do what we want and make create the damage that we can, and, whatever lies in their wake does. And
well, that gives us more motivation. It must motivate more of us, and even the citizens should realize if we don't elect new people, viable people, how are we going to change anything?
Yeah, we got to just, you know, you got to bring out the broom and sweep them out, right? I mean, that's what it's got to be.
I mean,
I think it's unfortunate that a lot of people get distracted with what's going on nationally and lose focus on what's going on in their backyard. You know,
if we could fix little by little what happens in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Maine.
Right. But it starts in our towns. It starts in our districts. Like, you know, when you throw a rock into a pond, it's going to have its biggest splash where it hits, right? And then it's just going to ripple out to the rest of the pond. And that's what you have to look at when you're looking at politics. You have to look at it like that, because this is where I can be most impactful. This is where
we can be more impactful. And, you know, that's why I've been attending the city council meeting every time. And, of course, I'm only one of a few that speaks out all the time. I shouldn't be always there.
Right.
I shouldn't need. Basically, in some of the meetings, it's one or two people that go up, residents, taxpayer. It should be a long, long line so that I'm not a nuisance. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because people are not happy. We have to somehow, Mark. We got to mobilize the citizens, because citizens are either not comfortable speaking. I mean, you go out, you know, it takes a little courage. It takes a little bit. I want to do this.
Yeah, it's definitely out of my comfort zone. It's not what I'm, you know.
That's why you brought the Skylar around.
I brought her around because that was my job as a father, was to spend time with her. I was trying to do everything at once. And,
by the way, will you, obviously you can come back anytime you want. Will you be doing a meet and greet at some point? Will you advertise? Give us the Facebook address again.
Yeah, so Facebook is Mark Adams 4CT. Website is Mark Adams CT 2026.
Say it slow, please. Mark Adams.
Mark Adams CT 2026.
It says it on the screen.
All right, right up there. And then on our Facebook page, it's Mark Adams 4CT.
4CT. F-O-R-C-T.
F-O-R-C-T.
And so will you, eventually you'll be getting together with people, supporters at some
I'll
point?
be putting together some events, meet and greets, Q&As. You know, it's important that I hear from everybody, and as much as I'd like to go out to all the doors, I mean, in the last 2 cycles, I've probably been close to 8,000 doors, and Skylar's been to at least 5,000 of them with me. You know, God bless her, and you know, she's a trooper. But you know, those are some of the things. Like, as far as coming up on this cycle right now, right? It's a huge opponent, a huge, you know, lead on my opponent that I already have. Like, I've already touched with these people a couple times, you know, and reached out to them. So.
I don't know him personally, but nobody knows him.
No.
I mean, but the Democratic machine is very powerful.
Very
it's
powerful.
Well positioned. It's well protected.
Yeah.
So you got your work cut out for you.
Well, yeah, absolutely, and I think that's why it's important that, you know, I'm the chosen candidate here, because I have a head start on that. I have gotten, you know, name recognition out there. I've already talked to these people. I have the crossover appeal with the unaffiliated voters, you know, as well as I mean, you know, my first election I ran, it was 100 days less than, you know, 100 days exactly till the election day against a 30-year incumbent, and I lost by 374 votes.
That's
and you don't do that, you know, just by.
That's a good showing.
Yeah,
that's a good showing.
I mean, mathematically, you just don't do it. So, you know, if you just go R&D, so you have to have that crossover appeal, and you have to be able to relate to the people and
well, this is the
earn
year
their trust.
we definitely. I've been saying this. We need a win, and we need. Even just so that, you know, like, success breeds success.
Absolutely.
You know, leadership breeds movement.
Yeah, right. You put a crack in the dam, and it's, you know.
If we just stand still, we got no chance. So
we have to do something different. We have to go with somebody who's not afraid to take a stand, you know, and think outside the box, talk to other groups that aren't just necessarily the same group of people at the same events. You know, I've been doing a lot of work over the last few months, just, you know, getting familiar with other people and other groups and reaching out and doing something different.
Well, I look forward to hearing from you, whether it be on the Rocky Radio Show on the radio or, again, maybe as a guest here.
Yeah, that's
Real
great.
Rocky Podcast. especially when you have something real important, an event or some meet and greet.
Right. Well,
hopefully with pizza and soda. I have always. There's always a.
That's always the catch, right?
Yeah,
always the catch. Always the catch,
food.
Right? Pizza and soda. That's what they always have.
Please come back.
I will. I appreciate you having me out.
It's good to have you. Let's smile for the cameras. Right. This is Mark Adams, running for the 139 District, Connecticut District State Representative. God bless you, Mark, and your family.
God bless you and your family and everybody watching.
Take care.
Thanks.